What's up? This is Smitty with iHeartGains.com. I trained 18 months before attempting and completing my first Olympic distance triathlon. And for those of you who don't know, Olympic distance triathlon is a 1,500 meter swim. It's a 40K bike ride followed by a 10K run. And I did all of that in less than 3 hours. And many years after I started doing triathlons, I was hit by a car and I lost feeling on the half side of my body. And I had a really interesting thing happen yesterday. So, for those of you that have been following along in my journey, I recently rediscovered brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and I realized that it can help with the nervous system. And so I lost feeling on the side of my body, and I realized one way to stimulate brain-derived neurotrophic factor in the body is by stretching. So I did some really hardcore stretching in my specific way. So I set up conditions that would ensure that my human growth hormone was as high as it could be, and then I stretched, right, to see what kind of effect it would have. And so when I first was injured, I walked with a cane for a while, and then now I walk with a slight limp. The limp has gotten, better over the years. I mean, I didn't limp as much over the years. I progressively got better, and the limp is almost gone now. And after this recent attempt to alleviate some of the limping and the pain, I had remarkable experience. And just yesterday, we went out to eat with my mother-in-law and my son. My wife was there, and I ate a salad. And after the salad, I drank coffee, right? And I just noticed that I got most of the feeling to where it's symmetric on, both sides of my body, almost 110%. Like, I've never felt this good. Like, I've only felt this good after running 30 miles a week, right? I felt amazing. My upper body felt amazing. And I want to share with you what I know about coffee, right? So most of us probably drink coffee wrong. Most of us probably eat coffee with like a donut or a pie or a cake or something like that, and that's definitely good. It's not necessarily bad, but ideally you want to have as many nutrients in your system as possible, and I attribute that to the fact that I feel so much better. So I ate a salad, and you have salad coming, like the salad is just one dish, but it has nutrients coming from all over the place. Like I had bacon in my salad that was chopped up, and that's a dietary fat. I had a bed of spring lettuce, and I had a spring mix of lettuce and greens, which from various sources. They gave you potassium, sodium, magnesium, manganese, like all these minerals that your body needs. And then I had like edamame, and then I had like salmon with it. Salmon gives you omega-3 fatty acids, and on and on and on, right? And so if you were just to eat one, food, or like a spaghetti with meatballs, the amount of nutrients that are checking off all the boxes across the board in a spaghetti and meatballs situation is very limited, but in a salad situation it's like expansive. So here's a little trick. There's a property about caffeine you probably don't know about, because most of what you probably hear about caffeine, especially in social media, things like YouTube, is about how bad it is for you. And you often hear about people quitting caffeine. And people will often quit caffeine. I do caffeine too much, I'm jittery, blah, 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 right? And here's my take on what's going on, right? So caffeine is a vasodilator. Caffeine's properties as a vasodilator make it so that it can deliver nutrients to your body in amounts that are greater than normal, right? So if your circulature can have more room to send oxygen and nutrients to your bones and your muscles, then you're going to be better off, right? Your recovery is going to be better. So, but if you're eating foods that have no nutrients, like a donut, right, and you're drinking coffee, there's not that many nutrients going to where it needs to go, right? So I asked my friendly Koala AI, my chat GPT enabled app, what was going on, right? And I wanted to know, is caffeine a vasodilator? So I asked Koala AI, is caffeine a vasodilator? And this is what I got. Describe the mechanisms that support the vasodilation properties of caffeine. Cite relevant sources in MLA format. As an AI language model, I can provide you with the information you're looking for. Caffeine has been shown to have vasodilator properties which means it can widen blood vessels and increase blood flow. The effect is primarily due to caffeine's ability to inhibit adenosine receptors, which are responsible for constricting blood vessels. By blocking these receptors, caffeine allows blood vessels to relax and expand, leading to increased blood flow. According to a study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, caffeine can increase blood flow to skeletal muscle during exercise by up to 30%. Another study published in the Journal of Hypertension found that caffeine consumption led to a significant increase in blood flow velocity in the middle cerebral artery. In addition to its vasodilatory effects, caffeine has also been shown to improve cognitive function, increase alertness, and enhance athletic performance. However, it is important to note that excessive caffeine consumption can have negative effects on the cardiovascular system, including increased heart rate and blood pressure. Overall, caffeine's vasodilatory properties can be attributed to its ability to block adenosine receptors, leading to increased blood flow. While caffeine can have benefits for cognitive function and athletic performance, it is important to consume it in moderation to avoid negative cardiovascular effects. So, as you see in this thing, it talks about how it increases your blood flow, and it also talks about too much caffeine use can lead to negative events. While caffeine can have benefits for cognitive function and athletic performance, it is important to consume it in moderation to avoid negative cardiovascular effects. Now, consuming it in moderation means one thing, right? But if you're eating good foods and you're eating a variety of foods, like typically on any given day, your body needs nutrition, right? On any given day. And it's not just one type of nutrition, it's a whole gamut. I mean, we have multivitamins for a reason, right? In addition to multivitamins and minerals, there are also things that your body needs to perform optimally, like for recovery or for performance. The second question I asked was define vasodilation, right? Define vasodilation and cite relevant sources in MLA format. That's what I asked. And then it goes, certainly I'd be happy to provide you with the definition of vasodilation and some relevant sources. Vasodilation refers to the widening of dilation of blood vessels, which allows for increased blood flow to a particular area of the body. This can occur naturally as a result of relaxation of the smooth muscle cells within the vessel walls, or it can be induced by certain drugs or other stimuli. Now, and here are the sources. There's a textbook that provides an overview of cardiovascular physiology, including the mechanisms behind vasodilation and vasoconstriction. And there's another one that says, this article from the Journal of Physiological Reviews discusses the concept of vasodilation and the mechanisms behind it. And this source here says that study examines the relationship between blood viscosity and vasodilation in the microcirculation. Next one says this article discusses the regulation of blood flow and vasodilation in the pulmonary circulation of fetuses and newborns. And this source here talks about, this review article discusses the mechanical properties of microvessels and their role in vasodilation and blood flow regulation. So my thing is, so it talks about the negative effects. So if you think about it, right, if you're not eating nutritious foods and you have more blood flow going to parts of your body, one thing is you're gonna run out of nutrition to parts of your body. Your body's gonna be receiving all this nutrition, and then all of a sudden it's gonna stop and it's gonna say, what's going on, right? So for example, if you are hungry and you need food, your body's gonna be going into fight or flight mode. So that is one outcome of doing too much caffeine, and it's triggered by a lack of nutrition or lack of proper nutrition, in my opinion, right? So I asked my favorite Chat GPT enabled app, Qual AI, a question along those lines. And I asked, how might anxiety in the form of the body's fight or flight response be triggered by nutritional deficiencies or hunger? Cite relevant sources in MLA format, and then again, it gives me a pattern answer. As in a language model, I can provide you with the information you're looking for. Nutritional deficiencies and hunger can trigger anxiety in the form of the body's fight or flight response. This is because these conditions can cause the release of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which can activate the sympathetic nervous system and trigger the body's fight or flight response. According to a study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research, low levels of certain nutrients such as magnesium, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids have been linked to increased levels of anxiety and depression. Another study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that malnutrition and undernutrition were associated with the increased levels of anxiety and depression in children. Hunger can also trigger anxiety and the fight or flight response. According to a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience, hunger can activate the amygdala, a brain region associated with fear and anxiety, and increase the production of stress hormones such as cortisol. Overall, nutritional deficiencies and hunger can trigger anxiety in the form of the body's fight or flight response by causing a release of stress hormones and activating the sympathetic nervous system. It is important to maintain a healthy diet and avoid prolonged periods of hunger to prevent these effects. Now, the sources are from 2013, 2018, and from 2015, respectively. Now, there you have it, right? So, if you're drinking coffee and nutrition is bad, you're going to have negative effects. So if you're thinking about quitting coffee, I don't want to talk you out of it, but I want to talk you into eating nutritiously. And I feel eating salads is the best way to do it. The best variety of foods, and you're not stuck on one food, because many of you probably meal prep and have the same meal every single day. A salad is something that you can actually eat every day, but you can get all your nutrients in. So that's it for this video. I'm Smitty. I hope you reach your fitness goals, and I'll talk to you in the next one.